Is there actually a secret pill to finding success? That's what you're going to find out in this video right now. And I'm going to share my opinion on this specific topic. And I'm going to give you a few different points on how I think you can achieve success. And this is all coming from my opinion, of course, but I have been able to achieve a little bit of success. And I think whoever's watching, it can help you too. And just to let you know, point 5 is actually the key to everything. So make sure that you stick around till the end of this video to hear what exactly that point is. If you're new, my name is Zach. I have been selling for about 5 years now and sold well over $10 million in products and services. So I'm here to tell you, you can definitely trust my opinions. And if you don't want to trust my opinions, I guess that's fine too. So let's go ahead and dive into point number 1. And before I actually dive into this point, I just want to explain real quick. I don't think that there is a secret pill to success. I don't think there's one thing that is going to get you there. But I do think there's a combination of different things that can actually get you to success. So you can call it a few different pills if you so choose. But point number 1 is going to be delusion is key. Now, this sounds a little out there, but delusion is definitely key. You have to be delusional in order to achieve success. If people are telling you that, you're crazy, this is never going to work, this is never going to happen, this is so out there, you're never going to achieve that goal is too big, then you're on the right path. Because you being delusional is super, super important for you actually achieving. And I'll explain it to you the way that I used it. This is just my opinion, and this is also what I used to do. So I would set a goal that was absolutely outrageous. Like, for example, hitting $1 million in 1 month. That's insane. But that allows me to shoot and put systems around $1 million a month. And when I don't hit it, that's okay, because guess what? I hit 300,000 a month. What did you hit? If I miss still hitting an insane number. And that's huge. I think delusion is one of the most important things you can have. And if you look at anybody that's ever been successful, at the very beginning of their journey, they were delusional, and a lot of people were calling them crazy until they went out and they achieved more than anyone thought was possible. So keep that in mind for point number 1. Now, point number 2 is probably one of the most important points, being consistent, right? You have to show up every single day for exactly what you're trying to do. If you're trying to achieve success, especially at a very high level, you have to do it for longer than anybody else. That's the secret. I think Alex Hermosi said this at one point in a lot of his videos, was all you have to do is just be there longer than somebody else. Right? If you go, for example, to a jiu-jitsu gym or a boxing gym, if you are there for 10 years, you're probably going to beat majority of everyone because you've been consistent enough to do it over and over and over again. Right? I actually had my sales manager, he is in boxing, right? He said that there's a guy that comes to his boxing gym, he's about 40 years old. And he has a belly on him. He doesn't really look that athletic, whatever the case may be. But when he jumps in the ring, he absolutely smokes people. And the reason why is he's been coming to the gym for a very long period of time, consistently, over and over and over again. So anybody that jumps in there with him, he has so much experience that he just absolutely obliterates them. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're consistent, you're going to beat out 99% of other people. So my advice and my goal even for you and what I try to achieve is whenever you look at something and you know that, hey, this definitely will be successful, or I will be successful in this, plan for the next 10 years at minimum. Because if you can plan for those next 10 years, I'm going to do this for the next 10 years, you are going to outpace pretty much everybody, and you will be successful in that. So let's jump into point number 3. Point number 3 is a big one for me specifically. I use this probably on a daily basis, and that is pressure. There's a lot of people that don't put enough pressure on themselves to actually achieve something bigger than they are. So pressure is super, super, super big for me, and I do it in a multitude of ways, but I'm going to talk about finances just for this part. So with finances for me, what I tend to do, and this is not the best advice, you take it with a grain of salt and do whatever you want with it, but it works for me specifically, is what I will do is I will go, if I get paid, and I will try and spend all of my money. Now, I don't mean spend it on dumb crap. What I typically do is I take it out of my bank account and I spend it all on investments. That puts an immense amount of pressure on me because I don't have any money in my bank account. And there's a lot of bills on auto draft that are coming out of my bank account. So I have to refill it. I have no other option. I have no other choice. I have to pay rent. I have to pay for groceries. I have to take care of my family. I have to pay for that, right? So if I take all of that out and put it in investments, I better know how to refill it, right? And that puts an immense amount of pressure on me to go and actually do it. And especially when I was in sales. When I was in sales, everything relied on me anyway. So when I was selling, it was like, how much work am I going to put in a day? That's how much money I'll make. That's basically what I mean by that. So whenever I would spend all my money on investments, I knew tomorrow I have to freaking show out because I have to pay to live. And when you put quote unquote a gun to your head like that, that makes you perform. You have no other option when you have that type of pressure on you. So I would advise you don't have to go and empty out your bank account, obviously, but some of you that may help. Put pressure on yourself and understand that you have to win. There's no other option. You can't lose. And once you have that mentality, you will be successful. And another big thing is a lot of people wait. They wait until they're backed in a corner, until they have no more money. They wait until the worst thing happens to them, or rock bottom, as a lot of people like to call it. They wait until rock bottom and then they perform. Stop waiting for that. Basically believe that you're at rock bottom every single day, and then all of a sudden you'll wake up and you'll have $100,000 in your bank account. Do that on a consistent basis, and I promise you, you're going to find success because of it. Now, point number 4. This is just for me personally. Again, depending on who you are, you don't necessarily have to do this. I have a bunch of different friends that are successful that never did this. I did, and I think it can help some of you, so I'm going to share it. That is writing things down. Okay, writing things down is super, super good, especially your goals. Write your goals down. At least I did it. Try it. Just try it and see if it works. Okay, write your goals down because that makes it real. When you write it down, now you have it physical on a piece of paper. That makes it real. Another big thing about writing it down, don't just write it down once and then look at it because you're probably not ever going to look at it. What I used to do is write it down every single day so I could remind myself what I am shooting for and why I am here, why I am doing this. Because a lot of the times, especially if you're doing something boring or you're doing something hard, especially if you're doing it for the next 10 years, it will get boring. But in order to keep it from being that boring and keep you from not doing it over and over again, not doing it for the next 10 years, you have to write it down every day and remember why you're there. That's what I would do on a consistent basis. I would write it every single day. What are my goals? What do I need to accomplish today to get to my goals? What do I need to accomplish in the next few weeks to get to my goals? I would write it down every single day. And because of that, I reminded myself why I was here, why I was doing it, and why I will keep going. Point number 5. This is going to be short, simple, and easy because I don't feel like I have to explain this very much. Stop playing victim and just do it. Nike quote, right? Just do it. Anyways, stop playing victim. All right, there's too many people that play victim. Oh, I don't have money because I come from this area, or I don't have money because I just don't think I can do it. Stop playing victim and stop doing that to yourself. It's all up here. If you believe you can do it and you can speak it, I think Conor McGregor said this, right? If you can believe it up here and you have the courage to speak it, it will come true. You just have to do it. Just do it. Stop playing victim. There's a lot of different people, a lot of very successful people that I've met that had all the odds stacked against them and they still did it. There's very, very few people that come from money that are successful. Very few people. I think out of the 1%, I believe it's 1 or 2% of them actually come from inheriting money, right? Because as you know in history, and if you don't know this, I'm about to educate you on it, most of the people that amass this crazy amount of wealth, they lose it in like 2 or 3 generations, right? Somebody loses it at some point. So there's not a whole lot of people that come from inheritance. And that should give you a lot of confidence because I'm sure many of you watching, just like me, you didn't come from inheriting money. So stop playing victim. Just go out and do it. Actually try, actually apply yourself. And I promise you, you will see success if you do it for a long enough period of time. And the last point number 6, this is just a bonus point for all of you guys watching. Start learning the right things, okay? There is a bunch of different things out on the internet, all right? There's a bunch of different opportunities. pick whatever you want. It doesn't matter, but start learning the right things. That's going to be super prominent, because if you're learning something that doesn't really have a high yield and doesn't have a high return, stop learning it because there's no point. You're just wasting your time, especially if you want to achieve success and you want to achieve a lot of money. There's no reason in learning some of the stuff that you're learning. Go learn stuff that immediately results, or not immediately, but results in a good ROI, a good return on your investment. Go study the right things. Now, if you want to know what the right things are, I do have a little link down below in the description. Click that. That is going to basically teach you about remote sales, and it's super affordable. So check that out. Huge thing we just launched. Don't even know if we can do it, but check it out if you want to learn the right things. And of course, if you want to continue learning the right things completely for free, I have a bunch of different videos on this YouTube channel, and there's actually one right here. And it's talking specifically about learning the skill of sales and learning emotional intelligence. So check out that video right there, and I will see you on the next one.